The morning air at the forward operating base was sharp and unforgiving, carrying the smell of dust, oil, and old metal. Soldiers moved in disciplined lines, boots striking the ground in perfect rhythm, rifles held close to their chests. It was inspection day, the kind of day that made even seasoned warriors straighten their backs and tighten their grips. Generals rarely came this close to the front, and when they did, mistakes were not tolerated. She stood at the edge of the formation, silent and still, her sniper rifle secured across her back, her uniform worn but immaculate. The badge on her chest caught the early sunlight, reflecting just enough to draw attention. It was a sniper qualification badge, marked with a level so rare that most soldiers would go their entire careers without ever seeing one in person. She kept her eyes forward, jaw set, breathing slow and controlled. The general approached with his entourage, boots polished, medals gleaming. His eyes scanned the line like a blade, sharp and searching. When his gaze landed on her, it stopped. His brow tightened, and his pace slowed. He stepped closer, staring at the badge as if it offended him. "You can't wear that badge," he barked, his voice cutting through the formation like a gunshot. The entire line stiffened. A few soldiers shifted their eyes, knowing exactly what badge he meant. Female snipers were rare, and ones with elite-level credentials were almost unheard of. The general's tone was not curious. It was accusatory. She did not respond immediately. Military discipline held her tongue until addressed directly, but his eyes were already burning into hers. "That badge is reserved for the most lethal marksmen in this army," he continued. "Not for show, not for morale, and certainly not for political statements." Finally, she spoke, her voice calm, steady, and respectful. "Sir, that badge was earned." A murmur rippled through the nearby soldiers before being crushed by silence again. The general's jaw tightened. He had seen many soldiers try to bluff their way through inspections, but this was different. This was confidence without arrogance. "Earned," he repeated. "By whose authorization?" "By operational command, sir," she answered without hesitation. He laughed once, short and humorless. "Operational command has made mistakes before." She did not flinch. The general stepped closer, now standing directly in front of her. "What's your designation, soldier?" She answered instantly, reciting her unit, call sign, and operational specialty. "Sniper. Long-range reconnaissance and overwatch. High-value target neutralization." A few officers behind the general exchanged glances. Those weren't ceremonial roles. Those were missions that left scars. The general crossed his arms. "Then you won't mind if we verify." He gestured sharply, and an aide stepped forward with a digital tablet. The general took it, tapping the screen impatiently. "Let's see if your record matches your confidence." The seconds stretched. The wind kicked up dust around their boots. Soldiers held their breath. Then the general's expression changed. At first, it was confusion. His eyes narrowed slightly, scrolling again as if he had misread something. He stopped, scrolled back, and read slower this time. The laughter was gone. The anger drained from his face, replaced by something far heavier. His fingers tightened around the tablet. The aide leaned in, whispering something, but the general did not respond. The screen displayed a list of operations so classified that most soldiers would never even hear their names. Mountain engagements at impossible ranges. Night extractions under fire. Urban overwatch missions where a single shot meant the difference between survival and massacre. And next to each mission was a number. Confirmed kills. The count was not exaggerated. It was verified, cross-checked, and signed off by multiple commands. Each number represented a life taken to save countless others. Each one required patience, precision, and nerves of steel. The general swallowed. This was not a political statement standing in front of him. This was a weapon. He looked up at her slowly, studying her face not with skepticism now, but with something close to awe. She met his gaze without pride or shame. To her, the numbers were not trophies. They were memories. "How long?" he asked quietly. 8 years active in sniper operations, sir," she replied. His voice lowered further. "How many deployments?" "Too many to count, sir." The general handed the tablet back to the aide without another word. He stood there for a long moment, the base suddenly feeling smaller, quieter. Then, in front of every soldier present, he did something no one expected. He nodded. Not a casual nod, a respectful one. You were right, he said. That badge is earned. The formation seemed to breathe again. He paused, then added, and it's worn by someone who understands its weight. She replied with a simple, thank you, sir. The general turned to the formation. Let this be a lesson. The battlefield doesn't care about assumptions. It only respects results. He walked away without another glance, his entourage scrambling to follow. As the inspection continued, whispers spread among the soldiers. Not mocking whispers, not doubtful ones, respectful ones. They had just witnessed something rare. A reminder that legends didn't always look the way people expected. Later that evening, as the sun dipped behind the razor wire fences and the base settled into uneasy calm, she sat alone cleaning her rifle. Each movement was precise, almost meditative. A young soldier approached hesitantly, barely old enough to shave. Ma'am, he said, voice uncertain. Is it true? The number. She looked up at him, her expression unreadable. It's true, she said. His eyes widened. How do you live with it? She considered the question carefully. By remembering why each shot was taken. He nodded slowly, absorbing that answer as if it were doctrine. Before leaving, she added, if stories like this matter to you, stories of real warriors and real sacrifice, make sure you stay connected to where they're told. He looked confused for a moment. She allowed herself a faint smile. Subscribe to Bravo Warrior Stories. That's where these truths live. The young soldier smiled back, sharper now, more confident. That night, far from the base, far from the general, her record remained classified. Her face remained unknown. But among those who had seen the tablet, who had watched authority bow to reality, the message was clear. You don't earn respect by demanding it. You earn it one impossible shot at a time. And somewhere, someone watching Bravo Warrior Stories would remember that the next time they thought they knew what a warrior looked like.